number 5, there's the third member of the experimental half-back line. That's Peter Finnerty. He comes from Mulla.
I was very focused as a player. I was probably more physical than I was skillful. Diarmuid Flynn once described Brian Whelan and myself as both being Lamborghinis. One was a car, the other one was a tractor. You can guess which one was the tractor.
Oh, it's Peter Finnerty, and Finnerty is very dominant in that area.
Ní hamháin go raibh sé mór agus láidir agus deonghailte ach bhí sé scileúil go leor chun an jab a dhéanamh. Bhí sé chódeachar sin an ceannas fearr áile.
If you said to him, look Pete, you can go through the wall but you're not coming hard enough, he just double around back and he just come through it. He only saw the ball. The man didn't count, he just went straight for the ball.
Peter Finnerty making a fine catch. Lovely, delightful play by Peter Finnerty.
When you'd look at him, you'd know well what was wrote in his face, like, you know, that you had to bring your A game. To me anyway, he was a tremendous man to play beside.
Back to Peter Finnerty for Galway. That's a great shot.
Every day that you given a Galway jersey, you did your utmost to win.
In nips Peter Finnerty. You don't give half chances like that to Finnerty.
On tús, hog Pete dar anar son na gaiileh. A cháidir sé ráchla fi canis minúr, salar grúse bon faoi bhléanas fi in 1983.
We also won the minor that year as well. And a lot of the nucleus of the team that was to come afterwards came from those two teams. Like.
Bhí furin le chur le chéile go manisteir nó Cyril Farrell, mar chuoch í bháilí gaile in 8ú ceir, ach ní ra Peter Gimmert, mar gur sé gortaithe.
Joe Dooley again.
Joe Dooley was playing corner forward that day. And had I been fit, I'd probably have been marking Joe. And that would probably be the end of Pedro Phoenix.
Bhí bó mór ag Ivali gaileh sa clifa lechanis in 8ú cethir híos an Norlas. Agus bhí sé sular beidir go raibh rud éigean le déanamh agus sin an rud a rinne suil. Dairí leis roinnt lads ága tharraingta seachar an bhfoireann agus bhí Finnerty, bhí Peter ceantas na lads a tháinig seach ag an am.
When we brought him in first, he would be coming in as a full back. I remember saying to him one evening in a training session, Pete, we're going to have a match this evening and you're getting number 5. When I talked about number 5, he got into it and said, this could be mine. He would do everything out. The other players around him, they didn't know what was up. He was playing for Galway that evening and he was, in his mind, he was playing at Croke Park. After that with me, he was always my number 5.
Diarmuid Pete sa gréibhhínse den géadúir a glufi lechanis na héireann 1982 in Ai Chorca.
Someone said to me, he pulled this team out of the hat, like just threw them out. And I was saying, no, this team has been picked from training.
The weather may be rough, but the hurling is exciting.
There was a deluge of water on the pitch. You just couldn't barely hurl. And it suited us because we were the underdog. We wanted to upset the favourites.
Galway back in the attack now. A high ball in towards the goal line. A goal! Outside to Peter Finnerty.
Everything went right for us on the day. That was the start of the team, really.
And this is Peter Finnerty, who's played one great game. He can this, he has this.
Dimrí mar in ag Antrim, hús in Ardvacha an lá chéine ag an ón chéine agus hanga mar reis có fada le Lia agus chunig mar cuid an clifan sin an telefís agus chuig siad I bhain go mór an. Bhí sé silar go raibh réaltóga nua ag tactar an bhád an aileamh.
Mar sin agus I bháilí rúmpa a lámór, bhí ancient Pete díri go thomlan an glufi canis.
Your life is about the All-Ireland final. You just eat, sleep and drink for the months before to get to where you were in the All-Ireland final. You're in the All-Ireland final and nothing else matters. We hadn't really gelled as a team yet. We only had really one success and that was the one against Cork.
Bernie Ford again, he turns McCleary. The opportunity for the goal, however, goes a-begging.
Bhí an cúil cíónach an tam goléir agus d'éirigh le Pacléirí gachúil le scóráil. Bus bhí teonnach ar olmhór ar na cúil sin ar chora an clifa ag deire.
Side towards Pacléirí, and he gets it! Pacléirí has scored a second goal here in Croke Park.
we just kept prodding, you know, I suppose, just maybe young, maybe you have to serve your time before you go on and win one of these All-Irelands, you know, so, you know, maybe I just put it down to inexperience.
Joe Cooney totally unmarked now. Stopped in there, and it's Pat Fleury who drives it out over the end line.
It was up to the younger lads to be able to lift to that other notch, and we really didn't. Whereas we played well, we didn't do enough to win an All-Ireland. You have to go out and win it. It's not going to be given to you.
And the referee's whistle has gone, and the All-Ireland final of 85 has been won by the Midlanders of Offaly.
Losing an All-Ireland final, it's gut-wrenching. And going into the dressing room, like, and there's nothing you can say to anybody to console them. There's nothing you can do. It's like when you were young, your birthday is over. And it's not coming around again until next year. The only guarantee you had was you were going to have another birthday. You weren't guaranteed another All-Ireland.
Galway back in the All-Ireland semi-final.
Pas Kilchunne idir na Gailú vígus clufi Canna Shelle. Ach bhí sé nám tréile bhain test tacticí roimhlóideacha.
We had played Kilkenny in the league final and the Blues out the gate with physical strength. So in training, said to the boys we're going to try a new thing. So we played a three-man midfield. And the big thing was if the cornerback followed you out, you ran, and if he didn't follow out, make sure not to put it into his corner.
We hadn't used the third man midfielder at any stage in training. He introduced it on the Friday night, and it was more an element of surprise to us as to anybody else.
Ní a bhéine sólas na tacticéid a bhí ag Gaillimh ar an lá. Féidir a ré leis an slithar agus féidir a corna passan a live le chéile agus sin rud nua a bhí anna gná.
Anthony Cunningham must be a goal. It's there.
Ar an lá d'oibrigh gachrúd amach go fuirfeá agus níos tábhachtí na sin na fórsiad na cúil.
Cooney looking for goal number 4. This is amazing.
I remember Paddy Pinder, like, he was an idol of mine, and to see him going off with 20 minutes to go and you look up at the scoreboard and you're leading Kilkenny by 11 or 12 points, we couldn't believe this was happening to us.
Galway have won, and so for the second year in succession, Galway will be in the final. And it's Galway who are here, winning to atone for last year's defeat. Will this finally be their day?
We were confident going into 86. We knew there was going to be a backlash from the previous year having maybe caught Cork on the hop.
Bin in ceist a bhí ar bheola gachdaín ag dul seachdaín clifa an winhig Gaillimh úsáid as na tacticí chéine.
We were also told, I think maybe on the Friday or the Tuesday beforehand, that we were going to use the same ply. You just can't change a player's strategy or the way he plays in one training session. And you can't tell him, don't do this, because when you get a ball, you're automatically going to do naturally what you've done all along. And we were driving ball into a corner. The minute you'd have it hit, you'd say, oh no, Crowley's there again.
Bad pass to Johnny Crowley.
Ach is cuimhin Johnny Crowley hí sa cúine agus ní raibh duine na deoraí I bhachar a fiche slató agus ag glanann slithar amach ar a hábhíonn só.
So, can he give Cork an early lead? He goes for the goal! Dangerously in, and a goal!
We got hit early in the game with goals again. That shocked us, but we played some brilliant hurling to get back into the game.
He's got another point. Back to Peter Finnerty for Galway. Launching the counter burst. That's a great shot. Oh, that's another point. 60 metres from his own goal.
The one famous score I got. It broke from me nicely and I was on the right side of the field and I said, here, have a go at this and see can you repair some of the damage. It flew over, luckily enough. I think the amount of hurling that we had to do in the first half caught up to us in the latter half of the second half, and I think that drained us really.
1 point lead again, maybe a goal. It's a goal!
Losing in 1986, second time coming into an All-Ireland dressing room without the cup, was one of the most gut-wrenching feelings I think I ever had. He said, am I going to continue doing this now again? There's lost 2 All-Ireland minors, 2 All-Ireland seniors.
Galway lose yet again, their second successive final defeat.
Went to America and Jerry Mack was over there at the time and the twos were over there hurling legally in New York.
They went for the few, for the work and the crack and the games, but they knew they were coming back, you know what I mean? There was a certain date and that was it, and they were back, and then you had them full time.
I had no intention of coming back, but then Farrell rang me, of course, and then that was it. Decided, look, we'll come back, so we came back for the semi-final.
Don géadúir sa gríomh, Timid Peach and I Hipperadáring.
Ní raibh Tibradaran tar éis créamh na mún a bhóchan tá néide go 7 héin. Bhí gach in Dibradaran an a bhhuiníach mother le creibh na hair an cheap siad go meach seans an bhacha.
We were determined that you're not going to step over us and claim the crown. This is our one.
Bhíidir níos abbey agus níos láidre mar bhíidir ó go leor bhí féinirtí a céadí McInerney na leid sin go léir bhíidir ó go leor mar a tháinig siad a seachar an bhirn.
The goalkeeper thought about committing himself, half committed himself, left it there for English, and back on the line is Peter Finnerty.
Ball broken. I don't know how I anticipated it was going in behind John, but I ended up in there anyway and on my knees praying that it doesn't bounce past me.
A splendid piece of goalkeeping from the right half back.
If we ever showed our experience, it was in that semi-final.
Steve Mahan takes the ball and lobs it over the bar to put the sides level yet again. Can he seal it here? To no lane. Loftus could have scored. That surely is not now.
Tháinig na Gaillimh amachar an taobh cearta bhíidir réig an sin chun dul raig.
Bhí Pete Jackery Wallace Mericard chúisiúáin, thar éon rodel na híal, bhí bun ile éireann bhaid. In 1987, bhí Pete Finnerty agus ammonaí na Gaillimh a gimmart in na dríú clufi cáne le éireann. Bolíoad an dábhlíon roimhe sin agus níor cháil éon idir na díomh trí cín as a chéile.
Tá sé deachar go leor clufi cenne sé chailúnt ag ómar be agus nuair a hagann tú reis an bblion in éag sin agus nuair a chailann tú ríis, bhíonn sé an deachar ortha.
Are you just getting to this stage every year, sort of coming to a final and you're not winning them? Like, you know, how much more can you take? Like,
There's Peter Finnerty, one of two players who returned from America in his third All-Ireland final.
Thoughts of going back to America again and having lost, and this would all have been in vain. You just couldn't contemplate it.
Bhí is a có go raibh sort ré org ag oscailt amach dóibh. Bhí is a có freisin nach dagan na seansan na sin ach go hanamh. Bhíidir ré chun éon rudí éin.
Shoulder there by Peter Finnerty, and by hook or by crook he'll get it.
We knew that Kilkenny were going to come with a physical challenge, and the physicality in the first half, it was savage.
High tackle by Peter Finnerty.
Look, you do whatever it takes to win an All-Ireland, and we weren't going to win an All-Ireland unless we were able to stand up to that kind of physicality.
oh, sure. They don't get any tougher than that now, in fairness to them. It was tough, yeah.
It's a fiercely competitive All-Ireland final. Definitely a game for consenting adults. And it's Peter Finnerty who'll take this sideline ball. Oh, that's a first.
I remember breaking the hurley, and the next thing there's 7,000 or 8,000 people watching you, and you say, oh, here now, what you can't do is miss it, right, no matter what. So cool as a cucumber, just trotted over, got the hurl from far and trotted back again.
This one's a little better.
I got it, went about 70 or 80 yards.
And the half-time score shows Galway in front by just a point.
We had been in that dressing room, in that situation, the previous 2 years, and we knew what was going to happen. We're either going to come in with the cup, or we're going to come in the same as it were for the previous 2 years. We were just coming out at half-time, and we had to wait for a minute because RT wanted to get the team running onto the field. And I remember Sylvie, he left fly, and the poor official, he warped his knuckles, and he says, we're not waiting for any F and RT, you were coming out now. And that was it, like, nothing was stopping us. Well, there was 2 or 3 incidents in the second half that determined where the cup went. John Cummins made a fantastic save. That's when Kilkenny were throwing everything at us. What a rasper. Just crept over the line.
The referee's whistle sounds, and it's Galway who are the new All-Ireland champions.
After being 3 years on the coalface, the feeling of relief when it's over, like it's hard to explain it, like it's just an unreal feeling.
I had this biggest fear of losing rather than a greater want to win, and it was relief when the final whistle went. Of course, then it goes to joy and exultation and whatever else, and it doesn't really sink in until maybe months afterwards, and then you realise that you're an All-Ireland medal winner.
He's already received the league championship championship this season, and now he completes the double.
Bhí Gaeilge gimmart sa gluficanis den garú blian essa chéile, ach ní rob brú dá leidarab in media 88.
The hype was all about Tip. They were 17 or 18 years trying to get to this stage. They hadn't been in All-Ireland final that length of time. So you can understand why the hype was about them.
We definitely were on a high. We knew that this team was really only coming of age and building. If we only won one, we'd be always wondering about ourselves, like, you know, are we any good at all?
We come a soccer a bhfuil. Cóiríonn sin go mór le gach duine. Nuair a bhíonna is agat go bhfuil seans má go méid túir an bhfuireann agus nuair a bhíonna is agat céimhheagar de thaobh dheis agus céimhheagar de thaobh clé agus céimhheagar gimmart os de chóir amach. Socraíonn leid isteach ar chóirsaí bhad níos fearr.
This is Jerry McInerney, looking busy as always.
So you have 5 points coming from the defence, and we were also marshalling the Tip boys as well as we possibly could.
Towards John Lahey. Space closed down quickly by Peter Finnerty, but this is an effective search forward by Lahey. 2 players marking him. He tried to release it to Joe Hayes, from whence the pass came in the first place.
Harla achtra anchinúnach rééis denúmed sa dára le.
The sun in his eyes touches it down to Donny O'Connell inside towards John Lahey. Goal kicker is out. It's gone in! But the referee's whistle sounds. Oh, it's not going to count.
People said the whistle didn't go or didn't hear it. I heard it, I stopped. And you can see I just stopped at that stage. But had the whistle not gone for the free, it could have been a different kettle of fish. John would have scored the goal, possibly. But we'll never know that. I might have got an extra surge of energy and got the hook in as well. You never know.
As the game went on, even though it was tight, you felt you were going to win it.
I think if Lane didn't come on that day and didn't score his goal, it might have been a different story. After that game, I hope nobody can lip read what I was saying, but I remember I was carried off the field and it was just unbelievable. So I think I enjoyed 88 better than 87.
Every schoolboy dreams about, and Conor Hayes has enjoyed that dream.
Ráisiad ar hebredárin gon tríú blian essa chéile nach dúnaí ach goirisa Tony Keady. A bhíar Finnery mar go immer se go mí letheach America.
Is mór an trú go neachigh Keady haol go America gan ómar. De gan ná níor chomhraigh sé leis táim cinnte agus gan dót níor chomhraigh sé le Gaillimh mar seo seansdóibh chun rud starúil dhéanamh chun an trío ceann a chur le chéile.
We had tested everything that we possibly could to try and get Keady off. Technically, I suppose Tony was wrong. We were saying there's other people at it as well, and we had ruffled a lot of feathers.
Ní léine caithfh an ús ar sean trésaí ar chorbe. Cé gan near na trésaí go má struda go raibh Keady ann feadh chóirsaí níos fearr.
Looking for another Tipperary score, still Fox.
Tip were definitely more focused in that game, and the first half they out-hurled us, outclassed us. They did deserve definitely to lead at half-time. I honestly believe that John Denton was biased against us on the day. There was a few crazy decisions.
He took more than the 4 steps allotted.
Sylvia's tussling for the ball, and the next thing English falls to the ground.
The referee has had a word with Sylvie Lenane and he sent him off.
I couldn't believe what was happening. I think Nicky was looking for a free. He wasn't looking to get Sylvie sent off. Sylvie got his margin orders, but definitely did not deserve to get sent off.
And Michael McGrath's been sent off for this challenge. So Galway are down to 13 men.
Ní acha mise Hopper McGrath ag déanamh éon rud cosúla an rud a rinne sin lá sin riamh rive.
Bhí achtar conspóideach eile sa géad le in Repeat agus John Lahey lárnachan.
Out towards John Lahey. Again a little bit of nervousness in evidence as he dropped that, and then he swiped across Pete Finnerty rather dangerously.
Fuair sé buile úfásach ó Lahey agus níor chuir sé isteach ná amachar. Agus thespáin sin an taobh eile de beidir ar an lá sin. Go raibh sé ábalta buile ó thógáil cuma le na buile ó chuairt amach.
That was Finnerty, like, you just wonder, like, what sort of a knock would put him down.
Pete would be the type that even if it hurt, he wasn't going to go on. And if he went down itself, he bounced back up. He wouldn't go down. Like the steel in him, the Finnerty steel.
If Mike McGrath was a sending off offence or Sylvia's a sending off offence, so was John's.
It's tipped for the final as they finally get the measure of Galway.
We left that pitch totally infuriated. Afterwards, it wasn't disappointment that heads were down and tears in your eyes. It was pure frustration. And it was the following day, and we were in Larry's pub in Loughrea, and we were having a pint afterwards. And somebody said, they're going to have a handy final now against Antrim. And I said, what? Antrim didn't beat Offaly. I never knew. I never knew. That's how focused I was on the game beforehand, and how infuriated I was afterwards.
Throgailion lá mór ríist in 19 Bhí áirithe díonta ar bhuireann don glufa na chorca agus bhíidir dóchas a chruimhe.
We still felt we were good enough to win another All-Ireland, you know, and we still felt that that team had the nucleus of experience and youth and ability, of course.
Sin an lá a thug Joe Cooney ceann dus na chesbánta sí is fearr beidir a chunig mise barca croch a gríomh.
Tony O'Sullivan blocked down by Pete Finnerty to Joe Cooney on the 45-metre line.
Joe was absolutely outstanding that day, probably to the detriment of the team, which is an ironic thing to say. Joe, every ball he touched, he put it over the bar, or he made a score, or he won a free. And as a result, the other players never really got into the game.
Still Joe Cooney, and he's kicked it in.
Ag le hama bheach aine cinnte go mechan lá ag na Gaillimh.
Runs on towards Tomas Mulcahy. In the clear. A Cork goal perhaps, yes!
Once Joe was bottled up as centre forward, then our scoring power just seemed to peter away.
There's another one!
Darlan féin ceanna slaunig ó Gaillimh ar an lá.
We conceded 5 goals, and when you concede 5 goals, you can't really expect to win in All-Ireland.
Bhí anad nu ag Pete in 19 híon, lán cholaí, ach bhí droch láige in ag Cormac Banner.
It wasn't one of my better days in the Galway shirt. That was really the last hurrah for the 87-88 team.
Ach bheith deisehháin eige ar a chiríú bon. Ar a mín se bhí se gon chlufi canis in 19
I have probably the honour of the longest warm-up ever in the history of the GAA.
See Pete Finnerty warming up over there.
I think I started warming up around 20 minutes into the game. The lads in Tuam were saying to me afterwards that I was like Ben Johnson warming up for the Olympics.
Pete Finnerty continuing to go through his warm-up process.
And I think I came on with about 2 minutes to go in the game. I came on, I think it was wing forward or some crazy position like that.
Pete Finnerty is in the action.
We did have opportunities to win that, and probably had that team having a bit more experience, we probably could have won it. '94 was my last game for Galway against Offaly.
This time it's Pete Finnerty nipping in. Ooh, a hefty shoulder that time from Hubert Rigney. And Joe Dooley here against Pete Finnerty.
The man that I almost played my first game on would be Joe Dooley had I been fit. It was Joe Dooley I was marking for most of that day. I remember looking round Croke Park as I was leaving. I just remembered all the good times, and I said I'll never see it again.
He had a great career. It's only when you look back on it now, and if you looked up, say, the records of him, that you realise what he did.
If you ask me today where my All-Ireland medals are, I won't be able to tell you. Are my 5 All-Stars lying in a row on a mantelpiece? No.
He got an All-Star in 85 and 86 and 87 and 88, and he didn't get one in 89 because I wasn't there with him.
I'm glad you said that.
Peter Finnerty, magnificent catch with the right hand. Hooped by Pete Finnerty.
I ré an tréimhse ama sin ó 8 sios go dtí náchan nó mar sin. Ní acha me é láirbe ag imar Drochliffe, agus ní dóilm go bhór aine an ceann is fearr I ré an tréimhse ama sin.
If I was asked to do it all again, I'd do it all and more to achieve less.